Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Welcome to Reunion 2024. If you're just arriving here, it's a great morning. We've got some good weather. And my name's Eric Yates, Chief Advancement Officer here at Williston Northampton School. I know many of you, and we're really glad to have everybody back. This morning, we're pleased to celebrate 6 recipients of awards from the great classes of 1974. 50th, yes. 1979, doing the 45th, and 2004. As well as 2 longtime faculty members. But first, it's my pleasure to welcome Head of School Bob Hill just up to say a few words about the school.
Good morning, everyone. I'll try not to be too redundant. I find myself standing up on a lot of occasions here and getting myself a little bored, so I don't want to do that to you. But alumni who are here, welcome. Faculty and former faculty, trustees and former trustees, it's great to have everyone here. I will admit to being old-fashioned. I never get tired of big tent reunions. I think I know the world is going a different direction. Big tent reunions, which is why we're all here this weekend, to me, tug at my heart, but they also reinforce for me everything that's the best of Williston, which is all about connections and relationships to one another, which you are all proof positive of. The state of the school, which is sort of the title of my 5 minutes here at the podium, the state of the school is changing, and I want to say that's a good thing. Schools are evergreen, and they need to be. As hard as it is for us to think that a dorm gets changed or renovated or some space no longer exists, we actually want that. I say to folks when they question me on that, when I go into a doctor's office, I like a modern doctor's office. I don't like that rusty scalpel taken out, so schools are the same way. But as soon as I say that, particularly to alumni, I want you to know that the DNA remains the same. And that's the great beauty of all things at Williston, that the DNA, the relationships, the connections, the incredibly tight life lessons that get learned here are all still the same. And I'm going to give a couple of examples of how we think about education, how we think about school as we move along. If you think about it, we saw early technology kind of coming along. You know, we had mainframe computers, we had tower computers with a big monitor, we had slimmed down Apple Cs, and then we saw the change in technology, and schools adapt to that. Again, evergreen, we want to adapt to that. There's some things we cannot predict at all. I'm tired of talking about COVID, but that is one of them. And what are we planning for right now? We're planning for the 6th and 7th and 8th graders who went through COVID so that we can better educate those kids today. Those weren't the kids from 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We have to think differently about what it means to open school even in this coming fall. Another one that comes right to mind that's on top of your mind is AI. Contrary to what I said before, where we could kind of see it coming and had a little bit of a runway, we don't have much of a runway, in my opinion, with AI. It's on us, and it's on us quickly. All that said, Williston has never been stronger. Our endowment is, as I said earlier today, to a group at the HVC, we're closing in on $60 million. That's a remarkable number. When I took over the school in 2010, thanks to the Great Recession, the endowment, just like all endowments across the nation, had taken quite a haircut, and we've built that back up. The Henry and Amy List gift that you all read about and heard about, $6.7 million to the endowment, went a long way in helping us. Just this past April, we received 2 anonymous $1 million gifts. And I only am talking about this to show the power of what endowment can do. We have a fund at the school to help our neediest students on financial aid. We've been raising money towards that fund and spending it in that year, about $40,000 a year. This fund, this endowed fund, will now guarantee about $100,000 a year, the power of endowment. Admissions is strong. Teams continue to punch above our weight class. I'll shout out to girls water polo, three-peated this year by beating Loomis and Exeter to get to that title. Girls softball, softball beat Choate down at Choate to win the championship. So again, punching the, I'll give it up. punching above the weight class. One of the data points of this year's class, which is a little different from other years, is there are about 95 or 6 graduates, a slightly smaller class than we've had before. And they're going to colleges literally all over the country. And something like 75 of them are going to different colleges. So you don't have these large groupings of kids going to one school. Just some examples. We've got kids heading off to Princeton and Dartmouth and Brown and Harvard, West Point, Points West, familiar schools like Bowdoin, Amherst, Tufts, Bucknell, Conn College, Union College, the small ones, dance conservatories at the University of Michigan or at Boston. It's amazing to see where our kids are going. And if you saw the whole list, it would be names very familiar to you, and then some that you might not recognize as readily. But our seniors are being recognized around the nation for their strengths, and they're taking advantage of that. One more thing before I turn it over to Eric. We have a new strategic plan at the school. You like to have a blueprint and a roadmap going forward. The trustees signed off on this about a year and a half ago. And no surprising to the folks here in this room, it's all about our people. The name of the strategic plan is Our People, Our Purpose, and everything we do going forward to that plan will impact the life of students and the life of faculty. I am thrilled that we have adopted that kind of a focus. So things are great at Williston. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for being here today to celebrate these great recipients. Eric will be emceeing, and I'll turn it back over to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Before we get started with the Alumni Awards, just to echo a little bit of what Bob said, we're just so thrilled that this big multi-year effort Williston Builds is coming to a successful close in 23 days. And I just want to thank everybody who's been a part of it, whether you've known it or not. If you support the Williston Northampton Fund, our annual fund, you are giving to this campaign. And that annual fund has grown by 34% over the course of this campaign, which is wonderful news for the school, and we couldn't be happier. So thank you for doing that. And if you haven't made your gift yet this year, 23 days left. With that, I'll go into our awards today. So I'll just read the description of our first award. Created in 2015 to honor the school's 175th anniversary, the Williston Northampton Medal is presented to an individual who has made significant achievements and contributions to their profession and/or community, shown a commitment to professional growth, or is recognized for leadership in their field. Their contributions represent important creative effort or accomplishment with professional, societal, or educational value. Unfortunately, our first awardee actually was in touch with us about 20 minutes ago and had to cancel. But I do want to say a few words about Ann Dowd, class of 1974. And she grew up in Holyoke, was active in theater during her 2 years at Williston, including Williston Summer Theater in 1973. And while here, Ann had some of her earliest roles on the stage. Those class of 74s in the audience might remember B in Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge, Miss Adelaide in Guys and Dolls, and Mrs. Hardcastle in She Stoops to Conquer. Today, if you don't know Ann, remarkably, she's gone on to an award-winning career in acting that's touched and inspired many, including myself. I'm still terrified by Aunt Lydia in The Handmaid's Tale. Her impressive body of work spans television, film, and theater, earning her critical acclaim. And on television, I mentioned she's probably best known for her work as Aunt Lydia in The Handmaid's Tale. That's earned her 3 Emmy nominations and widespread recognition. She won the Emmy for that role as an outstanding supporting actress in a drama series in 2017. She also earned an Emmy nomination for her role as a cult leader, again, terrifying, in HBO's The Leftovers. On film, she had a standout performance in 2012's Compliance as a fast food manager enmeshed in a nightmarish prank. The film was terrifying, she was not, but and she's also made significant contributions to the stage on Broadway and off, productions like Chekhov's The Seagull, John Patrick Shanley's Doubt, a Parable, a revival of Larry Kramer's The Normal Heart, and a one-woman production of Ibsen's Enemy of the People not that long ago. So, and also we did our research and found that Anne is one of the few actors to have made guest appearances on all 4 of the Law and Order franchises, playing 9 different characters. So Williston was really fortunate to have Anne a few years back serve as our commencement speaker in 2019, and she's been generous with her time as a resource with some of our past theater students. So we're really delighted to recognize Ann Dowd's achievements today. We're really, saddened that she's not able to join us, at least this morning. I don't know whether she'll be able to make it later today, but we normally we'd ask her to join us at the podium and receive the Williston Northampton Medal. Bob, you can maybe hold that up.
Well,
since it's one of our,
and I will say that when she spoke at commencement, I think it was 2019, the disconnect you do between knowing her on TV or The Handmaid's Tale and The Woman Before You, where she had the softest voice and spoke to the students and kept saying, "Dearies and my sweeties." It was amazing.
Yes.
Here's to Ann Dowd.
Okay, onwards. So the Founders Award was created by the merger of the Whitaker Brement Award and the Samuel and Emily Williston Award to honor the founders and principals of the Northampton School for Girls and Williston Academy. It is awarded to an individual whose loyalty, devotion, and service to Williston Northampton School has been outstanding. Charles Charlie Carroll, class of 1979, was a 3-year boarding student who in his time at Williston was a varsity athlete on 4 teams, including soccer, lacrosse, swimming, and hockey. And also a cappella ensemble and involvement in theater. After graduation, Charlie attended the University of Utah, and in 1987 he entered the investment field. He started a 24-year career in asset management at Lazard, and eventually became president, CEO, and director of Lazard Funds in 2004, retiring in 2017 as head of global marketing and deputy chairman. All the while here at Williston, Charlie's been an extraordinary volunteer for the school. Very few people have served Williston as well and for as long as Charlie Carroll. Charlie was a trustee from 1999 to 2010, and since Bob and I started here at the school 14 years ago, he's been a member of our Williston Investment Subcommittee. I think I remember you saying you were about to step down and you give it a little more time and transition, so here we are 14 years later. Charlie's long history of giving back also included stints as an annual fund, campaign, and reunion volunteer. He was previously recognized for his devoted commitment to and support of Williston when he was awarded the Daniel and Jane Carpenter Award in 2009. And given his participation in many athletic teams during his high school career, it's going to come as no surprise that Charlie was inducted also to the Williston Northampton Athletic Hall of Fame in 2014 as a member of the 1978 soccer team. Charlie and his wife Penny, also of the great class of 1979, have 2 sons and they reside in Norwalk, Connecticut. We're happy that both Charlie and Penny are able to be here with us today. Charlie, your love of this campus community, your dedicated volunteerism, and your boundless support exemplify the best of our alumni. Thank you very much for everything you've done and continue to do in support of the school and making Williston the place it is today. It's my great honor to ask Charlie to join us at the podium here to receive the Founders Award and say a few words.
I was warned several times, keep it brief, for those of you who know me. A few things. I think it would be best if I just first of all said thank you to Bob and his team and the faculty and the trustees and the entire school. What's gone on here in the last 20, 25 years is extraordinary. In the way the school has evolved and changed and kept pace, yet not lost, as you put it, its soul. Item 2, true, I keep volunteering to step off the investment committee, but it's sort of like joining the mob. You know, once you're in, you never really get out. And I'm better for that. A few things I think about Williston in the age of AI and in robotic communications. If somebody said, you know, what were the most important things for you, career-wise, life-wise, etc., I'd say, well, I learned a lot about the power of communication from one individual to another. And the first thing that sprang to mind, and it did because my wife reminds me of this frequently, was my senior year, spring, 2-3 weeks to graduation. Senora Barrera, my Spanish teacher, sat me down and said, Carlos, qué lástima. You're not going to make it. And she said, but if you come to my classroom in the afternoons, we will sit and work on Spanish together. I had to get an absurdly high score on my final exam to actually graduate. And I really, to this day, don't know much Spanish. I got to know a great deal about Senora Barrera, who grew up in Cuba, who fled Cuba during the revolution, and what life was like for her, her family, and who she was. We used to sip coffee out of demitasse cups. And she sort of guided me through and took care of me. And Penny used to say, like, what do you got on Mrs. Barrera that she's doing this for you? I don't know, she's just a nice person, and she's, you know, and we like each other, and we like sort of sitting in the afternoon, one-on-one, drinking coffee, talking really more about Cuba than about Spanish. And so if you ask me, like, what do you remember? I remember that more than the, Spanish. The other side of this is at Williston, you get to be part of something larger, teams. And athletic teams are great, and it's great to be in the Hall of Fame and to have won a lot of games and to play for Ray Brown and, yeah, a big dominant team. What's great about sports is you get to play on a team, and there's that weird thing that happens between teammates when they play together. And I wish it for everybody, because it's a great thing to have. And later in life, in trying to run a business and grow a business and hire people and manage them, those are the two things that really came into it, as did theater, which is the ultimate team sport if there ever was. And it is, as Keith Richards said to John McEnroe, we're in the same business, performance. And so those things I took away, and Williston invests in those things. And the faculty does it in a way where I have to believe most people who teach know full well they're going to influence people's lives, but they're not necessarily going to get thanked for it. They're just making a bet. And so that's all this is. Penny and I make a bet on the school. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bob.
The Daniel and Jane Carpenter Award was established in 2006 by Daniel M. Kane, 64, in honor of the late Daniel and Jane Carpenter and their commitment to and support of Williston Northampton School, its students, parents, and alumni. This award is given to an active volunteer or volunteers who, through effort and energy as well as financial contribution, have had a substantial impact on the school. We're pleased to recognize another standout alumnus from the class of 1979 today. Sean Carden attended Williston for only 2 years, but in that time he was active in skiing, sailing, tennis, and hockey, managed lighting for musicals under Ellis Baker, and served on the yearbook staff. His love for photography was forged while taking photos for the yearbook, including the now legendary photos of the shaving cream fight in his senior year. Sean graduated from Boston University with a degree in photojournalism and has worked for the Associated Press, the Boston Herald, and SIPA Press Agency. Am I pronouncing that correctly? His photographs have been published in the Boston Globe, the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philadelphia Daily News, the New York Times, and Newsweek. Sean's photographed many U.S. presidential candidates as well. Additionally, Sean's worked in the information technology industry for more than 30 years and has been a senior manager within the IT department at the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, or SEPTA, for over 20. We're fortunate that Sean has continued his active engagement with Williston as an alumnus. He really epitomizes what we in the Advancement Office call a connector. He served as a reunion committee member and is always at the forefront of generating excitement and attendance for his classmates to come here at reunions like this and participate in the school. Leading by example, Sean supported Williston with a gift for 41 consecutive years, attended every one of his class reunions, and continues rallying his classmates in his role as a representative for the class of 1979. He's also served as a guest speaker for one of Williston's virtual workshops for alumni, sharing his experiences as a photographer and photojournalist. His recent photography has been published in the Brigantine Times in Brigantine, New Jersey. It's my great honor to ask Sean Carden to join me at the podium to receive the Daniel and Jane Carpenter Award.
Thank you for everyone at Williston. It's been a wonderful school. My 2 years here set me up for a wonderful 4 years at Boston University and a career in photojournalism and further career in information technology. I'd like to thank all my classmates, which are scattered here, for lifelong friendship. And I continue valuing all those friends and the experiences I had at Williston. Lastly, I want to thank my wife, Shelley, who's down here in the Williston shirt. And something many might not know, she actually did go to Williston. She went to tennis camp the summer before we met. So she did get to Williston, which is kind of cool. So again, thank you, and let's have a fun weekend.
For our next award, created in 2015, again for the school's 175th anniversary, the Alumni Trailblazer Award is presented to a graduate of the school under the age of 40 who's demonstrated significant professional achievement, contributions to their profession and/or community, and continued promise of success in the future. Hailing from North Carolina, Kendall Hanley, class of 2004, arrived at Williston for her junior year to skate with the Wildcats. While here, she served as captain of the varsity hockey team, as well as the varsity softball and volleyball teams, and sang with the Whittakers. Determined to compete at the collegiate level, she stayed through a postgraduate year. After graduating and completing her successful career as an NCAA Division III ice hockey player at Elmira College in SUNY Oswego, Kendall began her journey to become a hockey official in 2008. Kendall's passion for officiating launched her into one of the most decorated officiating careers over the past 15 years. She was the first female official to be selected to work the North American Hockey League Robertson Cup, and was chosen by the National Hockey League to work various preseason prospect tournaments. She's also a member of the first group of female officials to work in the American Hockey League full-time. In 2021, she earned the Ben Allison Award, presented annually to an official in the USA Hockey Officiating Development Program, recognized by her peers for giving 100% on the ice and representing USA Hockey. In 2023, her passion for and dedication to officiating were acknowledged with the Jamie Huntley Park Award, which recognizes a female official who's made outstanding contributions to the growth of officiating and represents what it means to be a great teammate. Selected to work for the 2022 Winter Olympic Games, Kendall ultimately officiated in the women's gold medal game. She now makes her home in Minneapolis and serves as the manager of officiating for the North American Hockey League, focusing on the recruitment and development of the next generation of officials. Unfortunately, Kendall had a professional commitment that prevented her from being here with us today. However, we were very delighted, and she was thrilled that her coach, Krista Talbot Saifu, class of 1998, is going to come here to the podium to accept the Trailblazer Award on her behalf. Krista?
Good afternoon, esteemed faculty, alumni, friends of the Williston Northampton School. I'm deeply honored and humbled to accept the Alumni Trailblazer Award today. This recognition holds a special place in my heart, not just as an acknowledgement of my achievements, but what I continue to strive for in the world of ice hockey and officiating, but as a testament to the values instilled in me during my time at Williston. These values have helped me achieve the Olympic dream in Beijing, one that I thought would be my defining moment. However, I've come to realize that the doors that I've helped open along the way and continue to open in my post-Olympics career within the North American Hockey League is what I'm most proud of. This is the work that will have the most impact on the next generation of officials, especially girls and women. This is my calling. I am grateful for the education, mentorship, and support I received at Williston. All of this enabled me to become a better collaborator, innovator, embracer of diversity, and I hope a leader that fosters community and respect. I hope this award and my story can serve as a reminder to all that success is not just measured by individual accomplishments, but by the positive impact we make on our professions and communities. To the students of Williston, I urge you to embrace each day with purpose, pursue your passions with unwavering determination, and always conduct yourself with the utmost integrity. Your time here is merely about not merely about academic achievement, but about shaping individuals you aspire to become. I wish I could say all of this in person. However, I am in a session at USA Hockey Annual Congress with renewed inspiration to continue blazing trails, pushing boundaries, and making a difference. Thank you to the Williston community for this incredible honor. I am proud to be an alum and will carry the spirit of Williston with me wherever I go. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista. I'm going to turn it to Bob Hill back to the podium for this next presentation, but I'll just read this award. The Distinguished Service Award is the preeminent service award which the school bestows upon members of our community. Since its inception in 1959, the Distinguished Service Award has been given to individuals who have shown through their actions an exceptional measure of devotion to Williston Northampton School. And to say a little bit more about our honorees this year, Bob.
Thanks, Eric. So this is a extension. If you happen to be around last night in the gym, there was a reception down there that had 250 people. This June, after 48 years of combined service to Williston, Mark and Monique Conroy will retire from their respective positions. They arrived at Williston in the fall of 2000, with Mark stepping into the roles of athletic director and football coach, and Monique joining the faculty in the math department. Williston was fortunate to attract this dynamic duo, who after graduating from Middlebury College, go Panthers, had already accumulated over 10 years of successful teaching, coaching, and athletic direction experience at prep schools in Connecticut and in California. They didn't know it at the time, but East Hampton was to become a career-defining destination, where their genuine passion and exceptional talent for teaching, guiding, coaching, and supporting teenagers would flourish over the next 24 years. Mark served as Williston's head football coach through 2016, finishing with a record of 84-47, including 3 New England Prep Bowl appearances. In 2017, Mark was elected to the New England Prep School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame, recognizing his career devoted to inspiring excellence and modeling leadership for countless young football athletes. Mark also contributed to the basketball program, assisting with the varsity boys and girls teams, and serving as the longtime Thirds boys coach, the Mighty Thirds. Fielding 30 different sports is no easy feat, which is why Mark acknowledges the dedicated professionals with whom he has served over the years. He is immensely proud of the athletic program at Williston and the quality of the experience provided to all of our students, whether aspiring college athletes or not. During his tenure, notable initiatives including adding ultimate frisbee and girls volleyball, initiating team banquet nights and college commitment ceremonies, establishing a strength conditioning program, and enhancing facilities with turf fields, night games, new tennis facility, and baseball, just to name a few. Baseball dugouts, to name a few. Meanwhile, Monique Conroy was building her own legacy as an outstanding teacher, coach, and advisor. In addition to a 35-year career teaching math, Monique coached girls varsity soccer for 13 years, girls varsity tennis for the past 2 years, and she's an avid athlete herself. Monique, by the way, was recently inducted into Ethel Walker School's Athletic Hall of Fame, so you got nothing on her, Mark. Also, Monique, I don't know how long this lasted, held the career leading scorer record at Middlebury College playing for the Panthers in women's soccer. Her passion for athletics has greatly benefited generations of students. Monique's notable achievements include advising over 100 students, my son included, teaching over 1,000 students during her career at Williston. She was awarded the Northampton School for Girls Instructorship from 2011 to 2013 in recognition of her outstanding skills as an educator. Her greatest impact was serving on the search committee that hired the head of school. Mark and Monique have dedicated their lives to nurturing Williston community by serving in nearly every role that you can have at schools. They've been advisors, coaches, dorm parents, ambassadors, and mentors. A little known aside is that they've driven kids to church services on Sundays the whole time they've been here when kids are looking to go to services with them. They're also devoted parents of 2 alumni who we're delighted are here today. Christina, class of 2010, and Kevin, class of 2012. And as we've heard a few times from Monique, they're the grandparents of future Wildcat Noah Conroy. Oh, how do I say this last name? Sorry? Longverden. Thank you. Who will be in the class of 2042, and the admission fee has been waived. Their most impressive accomplishment, however, and all you had to do was see or hear about the baccalaureate address, is the way they've supported one another throughout their 38-year partnership. It is my very great honor to present the 2024 Distinguished Service Awards to Mark and Monique Conroy.
Are we at a podium again?
We are. Thank you so much, Bob, for those very kind words. It is such an honor and a privilege to be recognized for doing what we love to do, and most importantly, for doing it in the school we love. While it's hard to believe, when we look at our children now in their 30s, and now our new granddaughter, Noah, we arrived at Williston when we were in our late 30s. Our daughter Christina was entering the 3rd grade, and our son Kevin was entering the 1st grade. Our family literally grew up at Williston. The joys of living on campus are endless, and from the moment we arrived, we knew we had found our home. Our children had full access to this beautiful campus, but more importantly, they lived their young lives being surrounded by a loving, caring faculty and observing the amazing students of Williston, many of whom became surrogate big brothers and sisters. Our house was always full of students, advisees, math students, players, friends of advisees. Extra help at the kitchen table was a regular event, and attending Williston games was the norm every Wednesday and Saturday. Choral concerts, plays, tournament games, and the most wonderful day of the year for any faculty child, Willie Gras, were just a handful of the many, many highlights of every school year. Having our children attend this wonderful school and be taught, coached, and mentored by our colleagues was just an incredible gift.
As we look back at our Williston years, we know we had an incredible opportunity. We worked together with amazing educators, too many to mention by name, though we do want to mention our dear friend, the late Stan Samuelson. Who modeled a spirit of volunteerism that we have never forgotten. While my work was primarily in the classroom, Mark centered his administrative and coaching responsibility at our athletic facilities. We had all of our Williston bases covered. The common theme in everything we did was that our work was always focused on our students. Any successes we've had at Williston is based on the connections that we have made with our students and our secret superpowers. My superpower was Mark.
And my superpower was Monique.
Together, we shared all aspects of our jobs. We lived here, we worked here, and we knew Williston deserved nothing but our best. So yes, we talked about school for hours in the car while traveling. We wore and will continue to wear our Williston gear everywhere we go, and we will proudly promote our connection to this beautiful school in any conversation. Perhaps there will be an uptick in admission inquiries from the west coast of Florida, from the great state of Maine, and maybe even from the Italian countryside.
In March, Bob Hill asked us if we would be willing to give the baccalaureate address to our seniors and their families the night before commencement. Of course, you can never say no to Bob. While it was a daunting opportunity, Bob gave us the best possible compliment we could have received when he said, "That was so Williston." Thank you, Bob. That meant a lot to us. And thank you, Williston, for wrapping your arms around us for the last 24 years. Thank you.
Thank you all. I want to say, there's three words that always you hear associated with Williston, and that's warm, genuine, and authentic. And Mark and Monique epitomized that more than anyone else that I can think of at the campus. So thank you both. That officially concludes our program, and I want to thank everybody for attending and being here. Just a quick note for the Alumni Award winners, we'd ask that you remain behind for some more photos. But for everybody else, thank you so much for coming and enjoy this reunion weekend.
It's a great day to be a Wildcat.